Hello. I'm going to share with you for a few minutes a little bit about supervision and three models that can be used for success. Supervision is the overseeing, the oversight, the looking over of an individual or process. In this case, we're going to discuss three models of supervision of individuals. They may be in the educational arena or industrial or just this, in the job position. You might be a supervisor over others. There are three models that I find the most interesting and the most useful. They're the developmental, the integrated, and the collaborative model. The developmental model is the model that the supervisor tailors the plan of supervision for the specific needs of the individuals being supervised. It requires an awareness of the situation, the work environment, and what the personal and corporate needs are. This works really well with individuals that are can work by themselves or are self-motivated. The action of the supervisor is an oversight. It's to overview, to look over things. As they do this, they draw on the strengths of the individual that they're supervising and help develop those. They work together to plan goals for success. The person that's being supervisor receives feedback for the observations of their actions or their functions, what they've been doing. And this also aids in the development of plans and future goals. The function is clearly in the name, in that it's simply not the ongoing development of a growth plan, but it's also the development of the supervisory skills as well as the skills of those being overseen. The next model is the integrated model. This model is, as the name says, it is an integration of practices, of models, and skills that are needed to develop those we supervise. The focus is on the development of the specific skills and knowledge needed for their particular position. The integrated model is specific in that it's learning through example, demonstration, and practice. And then the supervisor's role turns into an evaluative type of position. One example of this would be student teaching. Another example would be in the field of nursing. It's setting up the plan, it's laying the plan out, it's using different areas of skills development, and then sitting back and reflecting on what happened and adjusting the skill set and the goals as needed. When necessary, the plans and goals become adjusted, and that only helps success for the future. The last model that I find interesting, and probably my favorite model, is the collaborative model. This model is less rigid as the previous mentioned models, and it's described as a partnership between supervisor and those supervised. Often this partnership lasts for years. The main focus is on the problem-solving processes between the individual. Collaboration involves many ideas and plans from a variety of areas and modalities of use. It is adjusting things to the situational needs of supervision and the tasks that need to be mastered. Often this supervisory plan is, like I said previously, it's a plan that develops a partnership or relationships that last through the years. It's not about a set procedure or observation, but it's more of a hands-on developmental approach for all involved. In keeping with the thoughts of the modalities of supervision, a survey was given, and I actually gave the survey to a number of individuals, both in the educational realm as well as personal and the nursing realm. And it was interesting that across the board, between new supervisors and those with many years of experience, there were at least three commonalities among them all. The first one that was answered the same way for pretty much everybody that was interviewed is the the use of intentionality in supervision, that things were done with a purpose, from the designing of the plan to acting on specific goals. Things were done with a purpose. Every action was designed for a purpose. We have to have intentionality when we're designing a plan for supervision to achieve the most beneficial results. The next area was honesty. Every individual supervised said at some point that they have to find the answer, that they don't know the answer. And honesty in supervision means admitting you might not know the answers, because nobody knows all the answers. But it also means working together to find the answer and to assure the people that you are responsible for, that you are supervising, that although you may not know the answer, you promise you will deliver an answer. And by demonstrating this honesty, you're building trust and you're building integrity. The last key point that I found interesting was support. Each agreed that support of individuals is not an option. You have to be consistent in the supervisory process to provide both negative and positive feedback support for those who are responsible for. Whether good or bad efforts, the support must be shown. Using constructive criticism in all situations is key. And letting the people that you're responsible for, the people you supervise, know that you are always there, even if you don't agree. There may be times you agree to disagree, but the foundation of support will always be there in order to help achieve common goals. We have, as supervisors, must strive to use every opportunity to build up those we are supervising, and this is done by support. Those 3 points are just a sampling of key factors in supervision that I found across the surveys. Supervising is a great and rewarding responsibility that should never be taken lightly. My experience as a supervisor is varied. I supervised in the military realm where things are very strict and the goal is something that is not an option. And then I've supervised in very relaxed and informal situations where the partnership is developed, the foundation is laid, and the goals are set together as a team. The thing to remember is you have to have a supervisory plan that fits the situation, fits the corporation, or fits the end goals. And you have to be able to adjust this as needed. My faith plays a major role in how I supervise. Above all, I trust God for my actions and answers and attitudes. My goal as a supervisor is to build up those I supervise, equip them with the tools to be the best they can be, acknowledge their accomplishments, acknowledge them as a value, and then to replicate. You don't know if that person you're supervising is going to be a supervisor one day, and how wonderful to help them develop their own foundation to do this. I call it a bear hug to success, and I find it works. You never know what's in that person's life ahead, and that's the responsibility is so huge to help them. We cannot take the responsibility of supervision lightly, and we really need to rely on the Lord's guidance daily. The scripture verse in Jeremiah 29, verse 11, pretty much is a model that I rely on. It's a confidence that God has plans for each one of us. And those plans are for hope and a future. And while the responsibility to supervise is great, it is also a great privilege. And I can only hope that what I learn and continue to learn will help somebody else. The question for reflection for each of us is twofold. As a supervisor, what do we find the biggest challenge in supervision? And knowing that challenge, identifying that challenge, how can we work to work through it, if not even to overcome it? Thank you for your time.